Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? It's your boys in here. Welcome back to our newest Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a match against Ruppy. This is gonna be an Uber tier match. I kinda like the Ubers a bit more nowadays. You know, the environment of bulky and strong Pokemon going at each other. Kinda like that idea. So basically, I'm gonna lead with Genesect, expecting him to lead with Kyogre just to get surprised as he decides to lead with Tentacruel. I guess he was expecting me to lead with something like this, get the attack increase, go for the U-turn, I'm Scarf, damage it, cripple its water spout, maybe? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Anyways, my opponent is gonna go for T-Spikes, make my Mewtwo, make my Zekrom, as well as my Arceus, sorta crippled, you know. I know that I can still manage to avoid all that T-Spike damage, as long as I play offensive when the right time comes down to pass. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna decide to go play offensive as of right now. So basically, Mega Mewtwo Y standing its ground, levitating that is, and I'm just gonna go for the Psychic, trying to get damage. Fortunately, I do not have this Mewtwo at level 100, but you know, as of right now, Psychic is still gonna do. I don't have Side Struck, that's what I'm trying to add here, and go for another one. This Giratina, however you want to pronounce that. It's probably more physical defensive, so I kinda like the idea of hitting it on the special side. Also get a special defense decrease as well as a crit. So this Pokemon is not all that lucky. I do need to add that, as you're gonna see in a second. Don't want to spoil too much, but you're gonna see what kind of things are about to happen. So I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rocks right now. He's gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm not too sure why. Maybe he was expecting me to take him out, and he just pretty much clicked the random move. It didn't matter, right? As long as I outspeed him, take him out, you know, it's fine. I go for the Ice Shard, and ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to go for the Icicle Crash because I was thinking I'm gonna miss. There's a chance to miss, and I just want to play it safe. But that playing it safe was a horrible idea because it managed to fail taking him out, and that was just ridiculous. I cannot believe it takes a stab. Ice Shard at the amount of HP it was at. I mean, that's just sickening. Anyways, Icicle Crash. Doing you know, a hell of a lot of damage, but then I got a crit, and I couldn't believe how little damage I did. This thing is incredibly bulky. I would have not been surprised if this was invested in defense, because it's been taking this a little bit too well. But then again, what do I know? I barely face this Pokemon. I barely play Ubers, so it's kind of like a tier outside of my knowledge most of all. But I feel like you know, I can take him down with the next one. Unfortunately, that will not be the case. But at the amount of HP he's at right now, there's no question about it. This time around, I will take him down with Ice Shard. So that's exactly what happens. Giratina goes down, great. Poison is doing some damage, racking up. Now it's that could be a bit of an issue, but it's fine. Deep Blue Sea, the Kyogre comes in. Of course, he's gonna call down the rain. And I'm thinking right now, okay, basically he can go for the Water Spout. But I want to do that additional damage, because Water Spout is based on your HP. If you're at full HP, your Water Spout is going to be maximum power, this incredible strength. I believe with Specs it can, like Politoed with Specs can two-shot a Ferrothorn, and that is just sickening damage. So I decided, you know what, I want the damage to cripple it even further. Maybe now it will fail taking him out, but I'm Scarf, so I don't have to risk anything. Of course, I'm gonna outspeed with +1 attack increase. I'm gonna do a lot of damage towards Kyogre. I would have not been taking it out, but I would have taken it down where Water Spout would have not been that big of a deal. Especially as probably he's running like a Specs or a Scarf set. It's one of those two. So Genesect, Tentacruel comes in as a scout purpose, as Genesect tends to represent. I switch out to Mega Mewtwo Y, and of course he's gonna actually decide to go for the Protect. Now Protect was actually a very interesting move, because I do have some coverage on this, and while I do have Fire Blast, I also have Aura Sphere, and I could actually expect him to switch out right now because of how he was playing. Like, he can easily switch out, get some more poison pressure, switch out to Tentacruel, expecting like a Fire Blast after rain goes away, and so forth. But I actually decided, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea for me to over-predict, because Protect can make you over-predict, can make your opponent over-predict. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna play it safe, poison or not, and it came down to be a much better decision on my behalf. So Mega Mewtwo Y, ladies and gentlemen, nobody plays with a regular Mewtwo in this case at this point of time, sadly. Just gonna go for the Psychic, do some damage. I do a lot of damage, and he's gonna Calm Mind away. Now this could have been a huge problem, because Mega Mewtwo Y does possess some incredible speed, but I do have the Genesect to kind of stop him in his destruction track. So Basically, I'm gonna go to Genesect after my Mewtwo has been taken down. I could have switched out directly to Genesect. I could have easily taken the Ice Beam, but I couldn't really risk any over predictions involved. Plus, my Mega Mewtwo Y was kind of crippled at that point. It could have only been good as a Death Hour, but not really much else. So I decided, you know what, it's probably in my best interest to stay in. Switch out safely, go for the U-turn, and see switches out to Arceus Steel as I get the team, of course, the type advantage over here with Ho-Oh. And also, I believe I'm gonna go for the Sacred Fire, which my opponent probably does see it coming. But there's a huge chance of burn, and honestly I just wanted playing it safe. So I do manage to get a burn on this. Very unfortunate. I was kind of lucky. Basically, when Haxin's involved, up to this point, I was much more lucky than my opponent was. So I switch out to Zekrom. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can take, you know, Water Spout. He's probably not gonna do. He's gonna go for the Surf. His second best option when it comes down to water. In this case, Hydro Bomb could have done, but I guess, you know, some people don't want that crippling accuracy. It could easily decide to miss. So go for the Bolt Strike, try to take him out, and I do manage to outspeed him, which kind of does come down to a conclusion that this was probably running a spec set. And that kind of does give me realizing, well, that kind of makes sense, basically, judging by the damage they did. That was quite a strong Surf right there. Even under rain, this is still resistant, and this is Zekrom, which possesses some decent bulk to it. So Mega Mewtwo Y coming in, I'm Bandit set, so of course I'm gonna get easily outspeeded. I switch out to Genesect afterwards again, safely coming in. That's what Genesect does, safely coming in. Pose a threat, forces switches, get team switch initiative to where your other Pokemon can come in, force switches, and so forth and so forth. So basically, U-turn taking down the Mega Mewtwo. He was in no position to switch out anymore because, well, you know, he's kind of losing Pokemon. And I'm thinking, okay, if I can switch out to Ho-Oh, it's fine because Darkrai is probably gonna come in. And as Dark Void is very much to be expected, I fully realize this. So this is exactly what I'm gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go for the Sleep Talk. Yes, this was a spectacular moment. That I was really just clicking, yeah, click Dark Void, just click Dark Void as I go for the Sleep Dog. That was fun. And get some damage in there. Life Orb, Dark Pulse, unfortunately fell short. Ho does possess some great special defense. And this hole still stands ground, ladies and gentlemen. As you're gonna see, there is no target, but Ho is smart as he decides to go for the Roost on the turn that, you know, attacking would have been pointless. So basically, Ho standing its ground against the Arceus Steel. If Arceus Steel doesn't have like anything rock related, then Ho can probably, probably handle it. Going back to my past experience with Sleep Talk or just general sleep-inducing moves, I tend to like wake up on the third turn, and that's exactly what happens. That I expect to wake up and go for the offensive move and one-shot him. Bada bang, bada boom, ladies and gentlemen. That was the game. So that was fun. I enjoyed it quite greatly. I know it was a 3-0 score, but you know, there was lots of stuff going on, and I felt this was definitely a match worthy of a layout. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to give a like. Thank you, of course, for your continued support towards my channel. I appreciate it. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Peace.